Beats by Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Try that, man.
Sup, motherfuckers? Chris Howicki coming at you with a new review for a movie I saw tonight called Freaky. Freaky is a 2020 horror comedy starring Vince Vaughn and Catherine Newton. It mixes up concepts from both the Freaky Friday and Friday the 13th franchises in order to create a completely underwhelming hybrid type movie. In addition to this movie being a straight up Freaky Friday the 13th movie, it also is released on November Friday the 13th. Which is fun, right? Well, I was walking into this movie pretty optimistic. The trailers looked funny as fuck. The director had a good track record, and I was super stoked to see Vince Vaughn play a psycho killer for the first time since that god-awful Psycho remake in the 90s. But did it live up to my expectations? I'm gonna say not really. It's supposed to be a horror comedy, but it's a horror movie that's not at all scary, and it's also a comedy that's not really funny. Don't get me wrong, this movie has some solid gore in it, but it lacks any suspense or even like cheap jump scares. They're just not in this movie. On top of the horror being not scary, the comedy seems very, very subdued in this film. You get a little joke every now and then, but not enough to justify calling this film a horror comedy. When it comes to the horror and the comedy, they don't go for it in either aspect. Like, you got the R rating. It's like, put more raunchy jokes in there. Put more jokes. Just put any jokes whatsoever. They're nearly non-existent. And when it comes to the gore, I mean, they hit it solid on the gore, but fucking make your movie scary. You have to commit to one thing. They don't commit to either bit in this flick. Best way to explain this, because I got like some Scream vibes off of this. Picture if Scream took place in a wacky goofball universe, but it wasn't as funny, and also there was no suspense or horror. Catherine Newton, the star of this movie, they really give her I think it's the she's all that treatment, where they pretend that this fucking gorgeous blonde actress is just some loser dog nerd who everyone's making fun of when she's just stunning.
Good morning.
Morning. That's me, Millie. Ordinary, boring Millie.
I love your dress. I think I saw it at Discount Bonanza.
Okay, so I was never the most popular.
Homecoming's this weekend.
Booker is gonna be at the dance.
And boys never really noticed me.
It's like the kids at school are like pretending like this chick is not absolutely gorgeous, and you're just like, oh yeah? Well, look at her sweater. What a fucking loser. It's just like, no, it doesn't work. I mean, that might have been intentional. I think that maybe some of the comedy of this is a little meta, because this movie was corny as fuck and so on the nose. When it comes to the body switch stuff, I think that Newton brings what she can to the role, because she's just supposed to be playing this non-stoppable Michael Myers-esque psycho killer who barely talks. But goddamn, when she has her psycho killer look down, I really enjoyed her performance, and she wakes up as a serial killer in a high school girl's body or whatever it's supposed to be. Yeah. I thought she did a great job. I mean, people are gonna say, oh, it's just her like scowling the whole time, and it's like, no, there were subtle things about that really worked, and I really liked what she did with it. That was one of my favorite parts about the movie, actually. On the flip side of that, the Vince Vaughn stuff, just to kick it off, when Vince Vaughn's playing a serial killer with the mind of a high school girl, when it first starts off, he's just like, where am I? Oh, wait, why is it weird in here? Why does my voice sound weird? I'm like, oh my God, Vince Vaughn, are you gonna let this fucking 22-year-old outact you?
It turns out
Where am I?
I didn't get killed.
Oh my God, why do I sound like that?
I woke up in the killer's body.
I can't say that she does because most of it is just scowling, but his performance as the body swapped high schooler is a little uneven.
Millie! Hail, Blissfield, high, fill our glory and our might.
It's not terrible, but it's not the greatest. I think that they could have casted a more of a character actor as opposed to Vince Vaughn, who plays Vince Vaughn in every fucking movie he's in. I'd say that he moved out of his comfort zone a little bit, especially when he makes out with the love interest. What the fuck? We'll get back to that. But he moves out of his comfort zone a little bit, but not enough to make it a memorable performance. Alan Ruck is in this movie. You might know Alan Ruck from the Ferris Bueller's Day Out franchise. That movie. He's the guy who gets fucked over by Ferris. And he's in this movie as a teacher, and he is like the biggest piece of shit character in the world, to the point, well beyond the point when it's comical. That's where the comedy is. Just how shitty the woodshop teacher, played by Alan Ruck, is to our main character, Millie. He's a total dick, and you obviously do not care when he gets dispatched later in the film. Oh yeah, back to Vince Vaughn making out with the Millie, Catherine Newton's character's love interest. He finds out while Vince Vaughn... What the fuck? There's a scene in the movie where the love interest of the main girl is in the car with Vince Vaughn, possessed by the girl, and they end up fucking making out. Like, her love interest seemed like he was completely down to fuck Vince Vaughn right now, and there was no payoff to that scene. There was no... It just was never mentioned again, and it's just like, are we not gonna acknowledge it? Like, and it's like I watched it and I'm just like, I just felt confused. I'm like, is this supposed to be played off for comedy because it's two boys kissing? Because they had some sort of like homophobic type playful banter earlier in the film. But I'm just like, is this supposed to be funny that Vince Vaughn is kissing this guy? Or is it supposed to be like woke? Because the only thing that I know is that it was just odd and confusing, and then it was over, and then I forgot that it happened. It's like, but I mean, he ends up with her at the end of the movie. I mean, what was that supposed to tell us? What was that? What was the message behind that scene? Jesus.
I want my body back.
Come and get it.
Look, I know I look like the butcher, but it's Millie.
He's crazy.
Okay, Booker, can you look at me, please?
Dry up, bitch.
Booker, help! Booker!
Will you shut up?
Anyway, would I recommend Freaky to you people at home? I'm gonna say no. Even though, like, I sat there and I watched it and I was content and I wasn't mad when I left. The movie did not irritate me. I'm just like, this is just nothing. This movie's just nothing. I liked the people in it. I didn't mind sitting there watching them in a theater with 3 other people. But would I suggest that you go out and risk catching COVID to see this movie? Fuck no. And what I read online right now is that they are it should be released on digital on December 1st. And would I suggest you pay money to see this movie? No. I wouldn't suggest you pay money to see this movie either. I would say wait for it to pop up on HBO Max or something. It'll get watch it for free. Because it's just nothing. It's not terrible, but it's nothing good, and it's, unless you're really fucking bored, I wouldn't pay to see it, and I definitely cannot suggest to anyone to go see this in theaters during a pandemic. If I die because of this movie, if I wake up dead tomorrow from COVID because of this movie, I'm gonna blame every single one of you cunts that watched this. But anyway, thanks for watching, motherfuckers. Make sure to, we're on YouTube here. If you want to see me do more edited video reviews, movie reviews and all that stuff, instead of just doing live streams every goddamn day, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bong for notifications. And definitely leave a comment. Tell me what you thought. Tell me what you thought of the movie if you ended up seeing it. And until next time, motherfuckers, stay metal and hail Satan! Another thing I found a little bit distracting is that they have a main girl killed off at the end of the opening scene. Like, they have an opening slasher scene, and there's this blonde who gets, like, fucking murked. And then they jump to the next scene that introduces our main character, and she looks identical to the girl who got killed in the last scene. So I'm just like, wait, what's going on here? And I know what you motherfuckers are going to say. You just think, oh, Chris Hallwicki, you just think all white people look the same. It's like, yeah, I do. But these two chicks definitely look the same. They didn't even change the hair or nothing.